Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a silver 6 stack. We have seen them before, so there's some other videos of them if you'd like to check it out. If you guys are enjoying the content, please
Attackers
do like and
incoming within
subscribe, as that
30
really does help me
seconds.
out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, events we have going on, all that good stuff. Okay. So we're mostly following a red team here. Let's do a quick hide chat. Okay.
5, 4,
Ooh,
3,
are we going to see
2,
Symmetra
1.
shenanigans?
Attackers
That
incoming.
looks like a pretty real brawl comp.
Defend objective A.
Like, obviously Lucio plus BAP isn't right, but that's like pretty reasonable for Silver. If they get to the opponents, they're going to have a lot of healing. So they go for the TP, and they go for the TP from there, and I have to admit, that's not amazing to me. So there's a couple things I do to improve this.
Defend objective
I
A.
can live with this. I can live with this. But if this is what I'm living with, I want this to happen faster because you need to surprise them. So we hit this place of, okay, how can this happen faster? How can we get better value out of this? And the answer is probably going to have to be our Moira is on speed and presses amp, even if it's just for a moment. No, we won't be able to do it. She just won't be able to catch up to the teleporter in time. I think you do it anyways. I think what you're going to do is you're going to set your Moira on Lucio, going to speed amp from here, basically immediately go back to here, switch to Moira and come through. I mean, really, I just prefer you run the Lucio. Like, let's be honest, I'd really prefer you run the Lucio over the BAP, like the Lucio, not over the BAP, over the Moira. That would be my real preference because having speed is going to be worth more than an extreme amount of healing. It answers too many problems for you. In Brawl v Brawl, you can probably get away with this double super healing Moira plus BAP thing, but not having your speed makes it really hard to catch up to poke teams that are just trying to whittle you down before they get to you as they rotate away, or dive teams that are trying to catch you when you're separated. Lucio really helps versus both those other types of teams, and even in the Rein v Rein battle, having Lucio to manipulate the distance between the two Reinhardts does add up. That said, it's silver, so I'm going to live with it. You probably will, in fact, get more out of your double heal. But usually what you do is use Lucio, and the reason I'm sort of obsessing over this I want speed thing is you're kind of trying to make a surprise play here. You're trying to make a surprise play, and this is taking way too long right here. Element of surprise gone. And now it's 14 seconds into the match before we've used our teleporter. And what did our teleporter get us? It got us to a place that's really not that hard to take. Like, I get it. Yes, we avoided rotating through this choke where they got to do some poke on us. And I really do get that. But, if I don't want to take damage from this choke, my solution is just going to be that I am instead going to rotate over here with my whole team out of spawn. And then my Rein Shield is going to cover us for all of a second and a half as we rotate through here, instead of walking across here or teleporting across here. This TP is way more interesting, honestly, if you do something with it that's more threatening to them. Here it saved you a little bit of spam, but we could have come up this way. We could have gone here. We could rotate into here, and then we could get up to here and drop our TP behind them. And suddenly they're terrified of, wait, shoot, are you going to push us from behind or in front? Like, that's more interesting to me. Or if we surprise them by getting to a place with a rotation we usually couldn't. Like, that's more interesting. Like, we go, we're going to rotate here, through here, here, through here, through here. Oh, and now we're teleporting up to here. Like, that's more interesting. Yes, you take a lot more spam as you rotate this way. But this didn't do much for us for the value of bringing a Symmetra. Anyway, that's enough about the opening teleporter, I think. You go here. Your BAP is still back there. Fine. Let's reseat that bubble. Nice! That's an Excellent job climbing from mid-silver to gold with a 75% win rate on BAP. There you go. I don't like these corner fire strikes that both of you throw, to be perfectly honest. This is kind of funny to me. Yes, it's a little more damage than a swing. Yes, you have the potential of hitting the Rein and the Genji here, though guess what? The Genji can deflect. And if this Genji deflects and someone behind you, like your Moira or Symmetra, then takes 2 fire strikes, we're going to be really unhappy. So that's one reason it's bad. But the other reason is, if you go at this corner here and you go for this fire strike when the other Reinhardt is right here, what if he goes for a pin and his team chases in right behind him? Like, if his whole team commits behind him as he goes for the pin, you're not going to be super thrilled about that. And in the future, you'll have to worry about, hey, I go for this corner fire strike and he goes for a shatter. Like, you don't want to shatter when the other, or you don't want to fire strike when the other Reinhardt is right on top of you, unless he's on the ground shattered, because he has the ability to play sort of this rock paper scissors game with you and win if when you punched fire strike, he punched pin. If when you punched fire strike, he punched shatter, you're not going to be able to counter pin or block either of those because you can't cancel out of your fire strike here. When you're further away on a corner, absolutely. If you threw a fire strike from this corner, no problem. If you threw a fire strike from this corner when he was back here, no problem. But when he's already on the corner, not so much. Yeah, that bubble's fine. But our swing is late. The bubble was acceptable, but our swing was late. So yes, I'm absolutely being nitpicky here, but it matters. Sometimes you're only going to get one swing out of a bubble, but what you're going for is 2 swings. We'll call this a swing bubble covering the back portion of your fire strike, but you should already be swinging. Should already be swinging. Should already be swinging. You'd hit the Reinhardt with the swings from here. Should already be swinging. And now you haven't even started this swing until your bubble's gone, which is disappointing. Now it protected a little bit during your fire strikes. So that was a little bit fair. That was a little bit something. But if they had if they had their own Zarya right now and they hadn't spent their bubble, they'd be in much better shape than you. And you didn't get the best from your bubble here. Like, yeah, okay, we got energy from our bubble, but we didn't get the Rein offense that we also wanted from our bubble. We just covered a little bit of the fire strike. We want to actually have it cover our swings because that's really useful. Our Reinhardt needs to get offense out of our bubbles, not just energy for Zarya and life saved for him. Okay? But now the bubble is over, so if this is a real push, this is fine. If this is a real push, our Rein can continue swinging here. If this was not a real push, and it was just the energy cycle, the trading resources after the one bubble swing that we were going to get, preferably 2, but in this case, less than 1, we'll call it the one swing after the bubble, we'd want to back out and then go, hey, maybe on our next cycle of resources, we make a real push with bubbles, or maybe on our next cycle of resources, we, go ahead and do the TP behind them that I talked about before. And then we don't even actually have to go through it. Just the threat of it behind them is enough. You're sort of still pushing here, and your team isn't really decided if we're pushing or not yet. Your team doesn't know if this is real, but our Reinhardt is in here, and now Zarya is coming in to be like, whoa, let me get our Reinhardt out of this. Our Reinhardt's in trouble. Let me come up and peel with my own personal bubble. Yeah, so you see how the team wasn't really in this? So generally, there's 2 speeds for Reinhardt. There's the I'm going to go up and trade resources, which we talked about how we do that with the bubble, and there's the I'm going to push for real. And the Reinhardt thought maybe this was a for real push, and the team thought this was a push for resources. So on the for real pushes, I like to go 3-2-1 pushing. At least while you're learning, while you're sort of getting a hang for this, it's like 3-2-1 pushing. And you don't have to do that for your trade swings. Your Zarya should just be telling you bubble in 3, bubble in 5, whatever, and you're mentally tracking it, and then you go up and push when a bubble's available, and she says bubble when she bubbles you. That would be my preference. You can call for it instead if you prefer, but I just prefer she tells you roughly when it's going to be available, and then when you know it's available, you go up and swing and she says bubble when you get it, and then you back out. And then once you're ready for a real push, which should happen after sometimes that can be the first thing you do. Sometimes that can be after one bubble cycle. You shouldn't have to run like 2 or 3 bubble cycles or anything. You're just getting Zarya a little energy, seeing if you can trade for a resource advantage because they don't have one. But you do want your real push to be when you have that bubble available, and you go 3, 2, 1 pushing so that your team knows you're not coming back and they do want to be going forward with you here. Because you see your team just hung back here, Reinhardt. And now you're backing out, and it's too late.
Elementary application.
Get into position.
No, hold on.
Swiftly.
I say it's too late as Red just cleans up, but hey. So,
Get in.
here we are.
No, hold on.
Trade back the Reinhardt, which is good. They couldn't really push into the concave. The Widow is still threatening, but is on low ground. Setting up area control with the sim turrets. Okay, so again, just 2 split. Just 2 split. When you're playing a brawl team like this, you do want to actually make calls. When the fight starts getting messed up like this, starts getting way spread out, you actually want to make calls to stack on someone. Instead of a target call, every once in a while you can just replace with a stack call so that you all get together again, because your comp wins in general when it's on top of itself. Not when it's in the mirror, but when it's playing against comps that are more divey or more pokey than it, it wants to mostly stay together. So that it can go, oh, hey, we're on top of each other. That lets us protect in one direction against multiple threats. It lets us peel for each other against dives. And this, you guys have some poke left. You guys got some eliminations. You don't really want your Zarya out here basically alone or just with Moira trying to dance against this. You guys want to sort of stack back up. So you could go stack Moira, stack Moira, stack Moira, and everyone runs back to here. And then you guys do another 3, 2, 1 push, or you do another teleporter to move you. That's what you could do. You don't want to go out here because now Zarya's walking out here alone, and you guys just don't realize it. And the fix to this is calling stack. That said, these two probably need to have pushed more by now, but it sort of looks like the plan was to consolidate this area advantage based on the fact that the turrets were here, and then maybe push once your Rein was back. Okay. So we want to be sliding these guys over to here, where they can threaten this, but the Widow can't threaten them. We don't want to just take a long-range battle with the Widow like this. That's not actually the play. She has huge advantages. The turrets help.
This will restore you.
Okay, this is fine. McCree can win that. No, we can't. She's paying attention. Oh, did she drop? No. That's fine. She went over there. Okay, so well done. We obviously had the aggression cycle timing that we need to work on between our Rein and our team there. And similarly, our Zarya then went off ahead of our team with our team not properly rotating their backline. But good stuff. So you guys have to make a decision. Is this a real push or was this a poke for energy? You guys are already deep enough that I think this is a real push, but I don't love it because, well, this backline is fine. This backline is still rotating. This Symmetra wasn't ready if this was a real push. If this wanted to be a real push...
New defense point. Objective B.
I don't think I want my Reinhardt just straight running this down. I want my Reinhardt tucking here, even if it's just for a second or two, so that my backline can get closer. Because again, they have a Widow, they have a Genji, they have things that would like to get onto our backline, to punish like that, to get around our resources. So we'd like to potentially be able to stack a little bit more as we're coming in. Or if we're taking multiple routes, we would like our Sim, while our Rein waits here for like 2 seconds, our Sim can use that time to get here if we're doing this 2-pronged push, so that when our Rein goes, our Sim can go just a second behind and then threaten from here, or go up here, or whatever our Sim wants to do. Our Rein just straight runs this. Now we're waiting here for a moment. Okay, that's something. We're purple, and when we get purple like that, it's probably just going to be better to just wait. So if we look at this, we didn't necessarily need to use that bubble. Didn't necessarily need to do that. Could have just gone right back behind our cover and waited for the purple to fall off. That wasn't really going to cost us anything, and then we were going to have a nice tempo advantage on them. So I'd have liked to see that. Instead, we're pushing in well purple, and we're pushing in well our Zarya doesn't have her personal bubble. Like, yes, she has it right here, but that personal bubble, the Zarya wasn't positioned in such a place where they were going to take a ton more damage on their personal bubble and get good energy out of it. So now they're pushing in without their ability to defend themselves. Our Symmetra is delayed in her push because we pushed before she was rotated. I'd have really preferred if we were going to do that TP to skip that we not go there, but instead we walk a little closer and TP to skip up to here. Like, this is stronger than this, if we're being serious, and this isn't, no. If we'd wanted to send our whole team this way and been like, oop, and now our 6 stack is just dropping here and we're brawling you from this direction and you're not ready, you guys haven't counter-rotated to handle that, that could have some value. But if we're sending just our Symmetra, sneak her up further, send her to here, where she can do her more scary work from here in terms of throwing her turrets around and then zapping people. Shield Ben. Oh boy. So, when you took this damage, when you took this headshot, Ben, Fire Strike is mostly right. You don't retuck after it, but mostly right. Why is your shield down there? Like, you've already thrown the Fire Strike. Your shield can be up there. There's no reason it can't be. You weren't ready to swing yet, so that's 300 damage that you didn't need to take. And then you get Fire Struck, and you go for this swing. And after taking 300 damage, you don't get to go for a swing. It's just not how it works. You can only go for a swing if you get the Zarya bubble, or if you are in your armor threshold, which you're not going to be after taking 300 damage. So this is too aggressive of an investment. And then you go for another one, and the only reason you don't instantly go down from this other one is because the lamp gets spent. But our lamp didn't get forced here. It's not like, oh shoot, they made really good plays, they really forced us, etc. That's not what happened. What happened here is, Ben, you got yourself into trouble, and it's not like you getting into trouble got this Reinhardt to the point where he's on the brink of a trip back to spawn room either. So this wasn't a very good trade, is really what I'm saying here. We just needed to go, oh, I don't like that 300 damage. Let me go back here for a moment. Or let me hold my shield up for a moment while the stupid amount of healing that we brought rather quickly gets me healed back up. Not let me go harder and force my own team's lamp. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can put your shield up, and then the only one who can hurt you is the other team's Reinhardt, as long as you can directionally keep the rest out on the shield, and your team can heal you up pretty fast. So you can do resource trades with this team. You can do one swing trade each at each other, and you'll get healed back up quickly. He won't, and you can get ahead of him like that. That is something you can do, but we're rushing this. We're forcing this. And now we're purple, and our lamp is gone. So it has to be hard shield. Has to be hard shield. Okay. So our general threshold for Rein is going to be when we run out of armor, and this is a rule of thumb. This is not a perfect rule. This is not the gospel. But your general rule of thumb, at least when you're learning Rein, is going to be you don't swing when you don't have armor. That can sort of be your general rule of thumb. You put your shield up when you don't have armor, and you let your team stabilize you until you have armor again. And you have plenty of healing. You don't just go madman swing. Trust me, Reinhardt swinging is great. I do not want to turn you into a shield bot. I will not turn you into a shield bot. But that becomes your threshold for generally not getting burst down. There's exceptions to that. If you're discorded, for example, I'm just not going to let you lower your shield. If you're purple, I'm just not going to let you lower your shield in most cases. But even that we make exceptions for. You know, if the other Reinhardt is one swing away and you have 400 life and are purple, yeah, you might go for that swing. There's exceptions, but your general rules are you're going to hard shield when you're purple or discorded, and you're going to hard shield when you get knocked below your armor threshold until your team can get you healed back up. We can go for swings the rest of the time, and we want to go for swings badly when we have those Zarya bubbles. This is going to be hard to finish, but we should get that. Almost. Okay. Seth, do you not have flash? Seth? Flash in 2 seconds. So we don't want to get swung on. We don't want to get swung on, and he's doing a good job of working himself against the wall where even though there's 3 of us, it's hard to get an angle around his shield for any of us. This is good. Symmetra should be super, super interested in keeping this beam on his shield because she gets to ramp up her beam to level 3 and the shield recharges ammo for her. So Symmetra should be the most focused on right now. Other people could actually be paying a little more attention to is there a respawn coming back, but I don't like this roll away, and the reason I don't like this roll away is I was looking for a window to go, okay, now that we have our flash, let's flash above this real quick to eliminate this Rein. Flash above and fan, or tuck in here, flash fan, etc. We were looking a little more for that because he doesn't have an off tank to protect him, and without an off tank to protect him with a Zarya bubble or a Sigma shield or a defense matrix, you can do the I do the quick flash above, he gets stunned, and we take him out thing, which is better than letting him stall on point forever here. Also, Fan will break his shield faster. Fan will break his shield faster than individual shots because you're not going to miss shots with Fan, and even though you do less damage per bullet with Fan, you get to each new clip so much faster that it becomes definitely worth it. If you're actually trying to break his shield, you go for Fan. One ammo reload. I believe. Take him out. Okay, we tried. Still winnable for you guys. Reaper first.
To repair the damage.
This would usually be an Ana first situation. Can we make sure we keep Seth up? That's more important than shooting the Ana. It's more important, generally, when you're trying to finish a point, that you keep your people alive than that you get eliminations. It's a little late for me to be saying that because we're already down too many people, but you certainly can't lose any more if this is going to be real. Good. The right click from BAP on our Moira, please. We didn't need this lamp. What we needed was the heals, the supports watching each other a little bit more. Okay, this is now over. We didn't pick up the eliminations when we needed to. The Ana had to be our next elimination. They've got all their respawns here. Yes, we have our Reinhardt back here, but we can see we're not going to finish this off anymore. It actually is time to reset.
It's honey.
Position.
Okay, we can turn it again. Usually it would have been time to reset. Lack of target focus will do that to defenders, I suppose.
It's in my favor.
Very much still in it, Red. So this would be a time that we'd want lamp. Do we have that lamp back? We do. So why do we not have it?
Let them up.
Like, we have lamp. This is fine.
Balance shifts in my favor.
That's dragon. We want to lamp and huddle for this dragon. The purple came out. We 100% lamp this. They're purple. There's a dragon strike that's going to go towards all of us. We 100% lamp this, and we have lamp available. This is no, we don't window this. We lamp this. We can throw our window down afterwards, but the lamp is the priority. We have to lamp this.
Let them up.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Score 0-0.
Yeah, Nordstrom, that's a good point. So part of the reason that we treat armor as a threshold is A, it's a good health amount for you to not instantly get burst down, but the other reason is that armor provides damage reduction. It provides damage reduction per hit, basically, which means it's particularly effective against things that hit less times, or excuse me, that hit more times for light damage as opposed to things that hit less times for more damage. So it would be less effective against a Widow headshot than it would be against Winston's Tesla cannon, because a Widow headshot, that's like, oh, 300 damage, etc. So that's going to get reduced by one value, and I think it's what, 3 damage now. It used to be 5. I don't know. They keep playing with that number. Whereas Tesla cannon, it could reduce the damage, incoming damage. It used to be 50%. It might now be 40, but like per tick. So like that really adds up, and I don't remember what the numbers are because they've changed armor multiple times. We've even had instances where Briggs armor from Rally worked different than normal armor in the game, and it was silly in terms of it was stronger. So like the point though is that armor works really well as damage mitigation against small little attacks, but also it's a good threshold-wise point on Ryan to be treating it at. It's more efficient to be like, hey, if he's taking armor damage, that's going to go down more slowly than health damage. Let's be more efficient. Let's get him back into the armor threshold so that he has a little bit of armor when he goes for that. It's the same reason that Winstons that dive with 400 health get blown up, whereas Winstons that dive with 450 health can actually do okay, because having that armor to block that first, to chip some damage off of that first shot or two that comes off them, actually makes a really big difference. Not that you should really regularly be diving like that. Anyways, doesn't matter. So biggest things we've seen is they're not the best pushes, and the way I want to clean up those not the best pushes is I want sort of a 3-2-1 count. Not sort of. I do want a 3-2-1 count before the Reinhardt pushes for the team, and I would like, if people are going to take different push angles like the Symmetra did, that they've gone and rotated to that before the push happens. And again, I also want to get our fix to our Zarya bubbles, where we are making sure that we get swings during our Zarya bubbles. We're making sure that our team recognizes whether it's a real push or not, which we talked about with the 3-2-1. Is it back to -5? It was -5 originally. Yeah, that's what it was originally, Nordstrom. I thought we made armor worse than that. If that's true again, that's awesome, because that's easier for me to remember, because those were the original values. Oh, that's what they did. They just did that. Okay. They've changed armor a few times. If that's what the wiki says, that's fine. I'll go with that. I don't consider the wiki 100% authoritative, but if that's what it goes with, that's fine. There was a window where it was -3. It was originally -5, so now it looks like it's -5 again, but it does 30% damage reduction against beams when it used to be doing a pretty good job of basically 50% damage reduction against those. It used to cap at 50. Now it looks like it caps elsewhere. So it'll still do half on some things, but on beams it's 30. Okay. They changed it back during the breakable barriers meta. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, armor's still really good.
Ready.
No dying on my watch.
Always thought hiring you was a mistake.
Statistically speaking,
ready
I
for
usually
battle.
get most of my team back alive. Who's counting?
So now we have a Mei. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Attackers
Mei instead of
incoming.
Sim. Good with Mei.
Defend objective A.
And they're nicely running Reinhardt for you, so Mei gets to influence the Ryan v Ryan battle. I don't like that Zarya bubble, Jay. I don't. With these Zarya bubbles, what you're looking to do is you're looking to use your personal bubble when the other team is, when you are already taking damage and you expect to take more, That's a good time to use a personal bubble. Or you use personal bubble when you can see the projectiles, and I mean multiple projectiles, coming through the air at you, or you see a projectile coming through the air at you, and you see other people looking at you, and you'd be like, I can 100% get this projectile, and I can probably get more. Those are when you use personal bubbles. If you use a personal bubble here, you're very unlikely to get, like, oh, maybe you'll get, what is that? I don't even know. No, that's coming from your team. That's your McCree shot. I thought it might be a Genji shuriken. Oh, I'm hoping to get some damage. No, your Reinhardt barrier is between you and the other team. And if we go back, it wasn't really better to start. So here you are.
Objective A.
Fire Strike? Fire Strike isn't enough, and I can show you why. Here this is. You get 20 energy off of it. That might seem great.
That's more like it. Oh, great.
Down to 1. So personal bubble for a Fire Strike, and you're down to 1 energy when your personal bubble cooldown comes back off. So that's not good enough. In order to be building energy with Zarya, we have to get more than that. So it's actually not worth it to spend bubbles, 1 or multiple bubbles on a Fire Strike, unless there's other damage that you're going to get too, and you knew you weren't going to get other damage because you were behind your Rein shield, and unfortunately your Rein was blocking all of this out so that you had to be behind the Rein shield. The Rein shield was in front of you, you couldn't get more, the Fire Strike was the only piercing thing. So your options were to be like, hey, I want to stand in front of my Rein, like I'm going to stand in front of him, which you'd need to communicate that you need him to back up a step for, but you also really needed to be like, hey, I'm going to be a little more annoying with right clicks or such, just a half step in front of my Rein to actually tempt these guys to shoot at me. Scary into double sniper though, so you might have not wanted to do it. You might have still gotten that Fire Strike, but you would have stepped in front of your Rein center mass for the Fire Strike and seen if you could have gotten any more damage. Okay. Real takeaway though is that it's not worth using a bubble for just Fire Strike. This is also too early. So there's problems here. We've lamped this. This lamp doesn't work for us because while the lamp is immortality, we want to use lamp to save lives when we're in trouble or to enable stupid levels of aggression occasionally. This is way too early. No one's in real danger. We want to use lamp as like a, most of the time as a, oh, they're in trouble, they're in trouble. My Rein doesn't have a bubble to protect him. My Rein is down at 30% health, 20% health, has another Rein swing into him. Even if he's shielding, I don't think he can save him. I'm going to lamp, or similar things with other heroes. So this is wrong on multiple levels. Our lamp shouldn't be up, but also, Jay, if the first thing you do is you pop out in front and you put up your Zarya bubble like this, they're not going to shoot at you very often. Sometimes they will, but they're not going to do it very often. You want to make them already be shooting at you, and you have 400 health to play with. 200 of it is regenerating shield health, so you actually walk up there, you start Zarya beaming them a little bit, you start right-clicking them a little bit to get them annoyed at you, to get them to pay attention to you. You actually let them damage you a little bit, like let them start to do some damage, or if you see that Fire Strike incoming, then you could pop the personal because other damage will come with it in this situation, but you can wait until you take 100, 120, 180 damage and then pop the personal because there will already be more damage on the way if you've already taken some. You follow how that works? Like, you don't want to just go, oh, I peek a corner and I instantly pop my bubble. You want to do some stuff to make them shoot at you first, to be sure that they're shooting at you first. And we look at this one. And, you know, that's good. You got 39 energy out of that. So I can't complain, but I can tell you conceptually that's not what you should be expecting. That's not what you should be expecting when you just walk here in full health, open the angle at full health, and first thing you do is pop the barrier. You're usually going to have to melt them a little, annoy them a little, or see that they're shooting, that they're actually shooting at you, actually be taking some damage before you pop the bubble if you want to consistently get energy. Perfect, Nordstrom. I appreciate the actual testing going on. Yeah, so we don't see the Hanzo behind us. That's unfortunate. So what we'd do here is we would call that this happened. There's a couple things that we would do here. A, we know that their snipers were always likely to come up here and go do this, so we actually would have hard pushed into here and fought in here so that we're fighting them in a place where their Widow isn't helping them, so that we know that we're going to get a 6v5 or a 6v4 if we push them in here. So we actually do. Even though we would like the corner advantage of them having to push into us, we are perfectly happy to go, we will fight you in here, because we know that their Widow, even if their Widow came with them and is right here, is going to be like worthless in such a small area. So that's what we'd have wanted if we'd been aware of it. Let's pretend that the Widow's not a factor and it's just that the Hanzo climbed up behind us. We're going to tell our team that we're peeling, and our Reinhardt is going to enforce this corner without pushing in, if we hadn't pushed in already, and the rest of our team is going to try to push away this Hanzo, while our Reinhardt just enforces the corner. Tries not to draw resources, just enforces the corner, doesn't push in here, just enforces the corner with his hammer, so that if people try to run into help while the Hanzo is fighting, they take a bunch of hammer damage because they're having to filter through this narrow spot while they get slammed with the hammer, and our Reinhardt can't really be seen by them, so they can't shoot our Reinhardt. So our guys get to deal with the Hanzo in like a 4v1 type situation while his team gets held out. We don't push in deeper and make it so that like our team is trying to deal with the Hanzo while our team is also fighting a 1v4. That's not what we want. But again, the real solution in this case was we should have just all 6 run in here and fought, because of course their Widow wasn't going to be able to get value if we did that. Nope. We're down too many people for that Fire Strike to work. We just threw away that ult.
This will heal you.
Nordstrom is correct.
Greetings.
Objective lost. New defense point. Objective B.
Okay. Seth is on the Hanzo now. Still have the Mei. Good. We got our pick off. We have our nice concave. I like it. Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
This will restore you.
We can make our decision now. Are we going to hard push into them and use our Mei wall to stop them from retreating? Like, we could go after we got that Widow push, and then just throw up a wall either behind them in general or just behind their Reinhardt or maybe behind their Hanzo to be like, we want a few of these. Or we could just sort of wait here and keep doing the poke work. But this doesn't really make sense. This doesn't really make sense. If we were doing this, we could have just hard pushed. Like, we didn't need to make our Mei struggle to get this wall. We could have just hard pushed so that our Mei could come out here behind our Rein that was walking forward, and she could easily have thrown a wall up here that would have been delayed these guys to get around, and we could have crushed them against our wall. We made our Mei work too hard for this. Having to hit that at the angle as opposed to our team just pushing. Okay, so that's going to be harder. This split is a bit of a pain. Let's heal up Seth so that Seth can then peek over the wall to fight this. No. We do not want our Mei to go out here. This is too dangerous. We know where the Hanzo is. We wanted Seth to climb this to see if there was a shot to take here, or to at least throw a sonic arrow here so that this Hanzo got scared and backed off and tried to rotate somewhere else. And while it's rotating somewhere else, we can go, okay, you're going to back off from our sonic arrow. Now we're actually going to all scream push. We're going to throw up our Mei wall, and we're going to fight this while the Hanzo is rotating away from the sonic arrow. That was how we wanted to do this. Or if Seth just popped up here and got the elimination, that would be fine too. This was our Mei going out here, risking getting shot by the Hanzo to get this wall off, not the play, because even so, now our team is still going to have to run into this open space that this Hanzo threatens, this crossfire, to try to clean up these eliminations as we try to brawl these guys and smash them against the wall while they're trapped.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Yeah, and you can see our team really wasn't interested in pushing that, there was a Hanzo here. I get it. They still needed to push that if that was the called play. But that meant our Mei went in here to try to brawl with these heroes, but she was doing it by herself, and of course her ice block got forced immediately. So now our Mei is basically out of the fight. No Mei wall, no ice block, isn't going to be able to get out very easily. Okay. We should be able to keep Ben up easily here. Easily. Not so easy anymore. Okay, Ben. You were a wild swinging monster. I like it, but we need to dial that back just a little bit. I would rather you be a wild swinging monster than a shield bot or a charge bot, but we can upgrade you still.
Score. Initiating. Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Further.
Ready for battle.
Okay.
5, 4, 3,
We're running the Mei again. Okay.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Good. It's the rare instance where you could have bubbled right as you peeked the corner, and the reason you could have bubbled right as you peeked the corner was if you knew that you were walking through the Sonic Arrow. If you know that you're breaking the corner while Sonic Arrow's up, they know that you're breaking the corner ahead of time, and you sort of expect the damage to be preloaded, pre-coming at you, so you actually could have personal bubbled this. I know it wasn't a small reaction window, but your reaction window didn't need to be to taking the damage. Your reaction window needed to be to, there's a Sonic Arrow, they can see that I'm breaking the corner. Okay, that's getting pretty micro, though. Just wait. Don't even. Just wait. Just wait. No. You don't want to go trade resources here, Ben, because you don't have your Zarya to give energy to. They do. You just don't want this. Just leave, guys. Just leave.
Seconds remaining.
The power of destruction.
So you do a countdown, 3, 2, 1, push once your last person is here. Good. Okay. So just not tight enough on the rotation. Just you have to go right back. You literally have to go right back. Nope. You don't keep pushing forward. You're not going to win this. I don't even have to go over there. You're not going to win this. This is just practice, but your shortcut for now is pushing in 3, 2, 1, and then you go together, and your BAP just fell behind that time, and your Zarya was separated for no reason. The rotation to take less spam is this way, if you want to go through there. Nope, you guys are all split up again. I know you've only got 10 seconds, so you have to push main. Okay. I mean, there's nothing to talk about here. You're not getting there with any resources. Okay, so again, that was rotational errors. It was pushing after you'd lost your Zarya rather than backing out. It was repeatedly refusing to back out that got you into trouble.
Round. Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Just shield better. That one wasn't actually a shield better. That was a rotation issue. Like, the shield was up when it needed to be for the rotation across here. We just had someone fall behind on it. Yeah, I'd believe it, Nordstrom. CC doesn't feel as bad as it did at its worst, though. It feels tuned down a little. I mean, we've had multiple changes, but a big one was Brig not being able to bash him through a shield. Okay, so you guys are running the Bastion. You guys are running the Bastion. Where are you setting up your turrets? Where are you setting up your turrets? I didn't see. Let's go to Torb's view. Torb, where's your turret? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to that in just a second. Okay, we'll figure it out in a moment. Fine. We need to be standing over our Bastion with Fortify right now. Or our Sigma needs to go in the way and shift. This can't happen. This can't happen. We just didn't react to the fact that they were pushing through here. Like, the body block has to come out. The shields break, and then our tanks have to go, hey, we rotate our shift cooldowns to protect him, our bodies to protect him. You've invested everything in this Bastion strategy, and then you let your Bastion go down. Yeah, you'll get the res off, but your Bastion won't be able to turret and redo work here. They're already on top of you. You're going to brawl out, but now your Bastion isn't set up for the next one, and you didn't actually brawl out. Yeah, that's just our tanks not paying enough attention. Ah, there was our turret. I don't know how I missed that. That's an obvious one. I do know I missed that. I'm aware of the time, but that's okay. Okay, so let's go back here. We covered this. The biggest thing that would have helped this team here is, one, getting their rotation and push calls better. So rotating in 3, 2, 1, go, and then everyone staying tight during the rotations. And then our team understanding when we're actually pushing. So this is a bubble trade that we're doing. And it's even better if we have bubbles and the opponent don't, because they have Sigma as their off tank, versus 3, 2, 1, push. And then our team actually pushes up with us and comes in with us, as opposed to just our Rhine hanging out up here. Same thing over here. 3, 2, 1, push, and our team's actually had time to rotate into the back line here, etc. That's what we're looking to do. That is how we look to win this game. In terms of things for each person to work on, let me go back to a screen that was more...
60 seconds remaining.
more of what people were actually playing in this game. We have to actually hit our lamps. We have to. Our lamps are not just generic things to use. Our lamps are actually to save people. Desperately need to understand when to shield versus when to swing. Desperately, Ben. So you can control the countdowns to push, the countdowns to rotate, or a Lucio player could do it, but you doing it will probably make the most sense. But then with your swings, I want you to go out there and get energy for your Zarya, but I also want you to understand that even on real pushes, once you run out of armor, it's time to hard shield until the stupid amount of support healing that you've brought along is able to get you back up into the armor threshold. That should be your rule of thumb for swinging, like 70-80% of the time. Okay, cool. Jay, you need to fix your bubbles. Your bubbles on the Reinhardt were mostly fine, but your personal bubbles, you're too hopeful for energy on them. You're too like, oh, I hope I get this, when you really need to control this along the realm of, hey, I see projectiles and more than just fire strike coming at me, so I'm going to personal, or I'm already taking damage and I expect to take more. That's how I want you to use your personal bubbles, so that you can consistently get more energy than you were. Seth, you were mostly fine here. I really did want that one Sonic Arrow. I really did want you a little more ready to check those off-angle threats like that Hanzo there, a little more ready to go, hey, let me flash this Reinhardt, fan this thing, etc. And then I saw less. Again, I didn't like our sim TP here. This sim TP just didn't do much. I did like our sim setup work that we did here. That was pretty good. But I really think if we're going to be bringing a sim, we need to think about more interesting sim TPs, like from here up to here, or from here up to back over here, etc. type things, or threaten from here to behind them is a good one. So if we're going to be running the sim, we have to run more threatening TPs than just this. It's got to be better justified with this is an easy one. When we're a brawl cop, we walk up to the other brawl cop and we threaten a sim TP behind them, and they're suddenly in a panic because they don't know whether we're going to push behind them or in front of them, and it splits their attention. Moira, I really didn't see much, so I'm sorry, I just don't have much for you today. I wasn't watching you that closely. But again, for the team, the biggest thing as a group is going to be understanding our push timings for Brawl. We're going to do our 3-2-1 counts to push. We're going to do our 3-2-1 counts to rotate, and we're going to understand the difference between when we push, when we're just doing quick energy trade, resource trade, trying to get ahead on health and Zarya energy and Ryan Shield, versus when this is a real push and now we actually go in. If you guys get a handle for that, you will play much better as a team. Okay, if people have questions, throw them in chat now. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help out quite a bit, and I really do appreciate it. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, events we have going on, all that good stuff. Question-wise, Temporal, what do you think is the best character for a new player to play to learn the game? I mean, Soldier's pretty generic, especially if you have an FPS background. He will teach you some of what you need to know to understand this game pretty well. McCree is kind of more fun, more likable, and will also teach you a lot of what you need to know right now. That said, you're not going to have a fun time if you can't aim with McCree, but he's a good hero for really learning a lot of what you need to know. Other heroes get a little more specialized, I'd say. Like Reinhardt and Winston, I think, are a blast, but I don't know that they're where I'd point a new player because it's so easy to learn them wrong, and you're going to be told to play them wrong by most people when you run into actually playing the game. And supports, Zen could work pretty well. Zen would be a good hero to learn the game on. Zen, McCree, Soldier, yeah, all those would work pretty well. Tracer can ride the ladder all the way to the top, but that's a tough one to learn, so I don't know that I'd start there. But you could, absolutely. It wouldn't be that hard to learn her. Yeah, I could go with Tracer. Not forgiving, but hey. Yeah, I'm kind of with Congress on that. She does, Nordstrom. She does, but it's really hard to change your mind out of Mercy. It's not like impossible to change your mind out of Mercy. You do learn some real skills while playing Mercy, but I don't think, like Reinhardt, like Winston, I don't think that's an experience that really represents the rest of the game. So I don't know. I think maybe like a Soldier or a Zen is probably better for that. Probably not. Well, you could do a Roadhog. Yeah. Okay. I'm not seeing anything else. I think we've covered what we needed to cover here, and I have some other coaching to do. So I will see you guys later. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.